day 3 of your SEC Media Days craze. I'm Bailey Burtmaster. The Southeastern Conference front and center in Atlanta this week. We've covered 8 teams, but we still have 8 more teams to go. Coaches and star players from all 16 schools are talking about the upcoming season, the evolving landscape of college athletics, and what seems to be a popular word at this annual event, expectations. Yes, the sport is changing, and yes, the last 2 national champions have not been from the SEC. But coaches, players, and fans across the South still agree that this is the premier conference in the land and are proud of it. The conference is ripe with contenders this year, but maybe some pretenders as well. One team that has become accustomed to being a contender is the Alabama Crimson Tide. Coach Kalen DeBoer rolled into Atlanta to kick off day 3 of Media Days. It's year 2 of Coach DeBoer at the helm in T-Town. While Nick Saban's shadow still kind of feels like it's there a little bit, this could really be the season for DeBoer to establish himself as the fearless leader in T-Town. DeBoer's first season at Alabama was nothing short of chaotic. The Tide looked strong early, they beat Georgia, and climbed to the top of the AP poll. But then the unthinkable happened, a shocking upset loss to Vanderbilt. The season didn't get any more predictable after that. Bama had some good wins, but some head-scratching losses. A new season means a fresh start, but Bama fans will tell you the expectations have not changed. The Tide will have to break in a new quarterback, but star powers such as Ryan Williams will help ease the burden. Our correspondents from Alabama have more on the Tide.
National championship, the goal for the Alabama Crimson Tide each and every season, such is the life within that program, one of the historic programs within the Southeastern Conference. Enter into year 2 for one Kalen DeBoer, the Crimson Tide of Alabama, aiming to not only return back to the college football playoff, but to potentially bring home a national championship.
Just overall dominance, just to play to the, not past the whistle, but play to the whistle, just overall beating, overall winning the whole game, like just taking it to the next man the best we can, hard as we can.
I think we just all have to be bought in. I think that started right when the bowl game ended, and you know we just all had to come together. I think being year 1 and Coach Wool's system, you know we had our bumps and bruises that we had to go through throughout the season, and you know we just had to get more reps. I think as the season progressed, we were able to, you know, get better from it. And, you know, I'm very excited.
Crimson Tide fans and college football fans alike wanting to find out who will be QB1 heading into the fall. Ty Simpson, Keelan Russell, and Austin Mack all vying for QB1 honors.
Another level of confidence that we had some players in our program that we believe in, Ty, Austin, and then knowing Keelan was coming in too. And, you know, the skill sets are there. There's inexperience, and that's probably what you would be gaining, I guess, if you brought someone in, would be some experience. But there's also growth to our offense. There's also a level of understanding. And, you know, it's just a matter of honing in on the tools and the skill sets our guys have. I still feel like we made the right choice. And I think it sets it adds to and sets the direction of what you want your culture to be, and that's if I just continue to stay the course, if I continue to just believe in the development I'm going to get from our coaching staff, that time will come, you know, and Ty's the greatest example of that, is going into his 4th year right now. Just stay the course, just keep plugging away, and you know, I love all our 3 of them, but you know, there's reasons to root for each guy. Austin, you know, traveled down here from Washington, so man, he's you know, super close and someone I'm rooting for. Keelan, you know, is the same genuine, authentic guy. So you want all 3 of them to have the success, but you know, just a lot of feelings that we had what we needed, or that what probably better the way it's put it is that what we felt was out there really wasn't that much better than what we had, if at all.
Fall camp just around the corner for Kalen DeBoer, his 2nd fall camp in as many years. Of course, all eyes aiming toward Tallahassee, Florida. Doak Campbell Stadium, the site for the Crimson Tide's first contest of the season, as the Tide make the trip to Florida State to take on the Seminoles.
Alabama's bout with the Georgia Bulldogs on September 27th is certainly one to circle. However, we know there are so many big high-profile matchups you're going to want to circle. But in week 1 specifically, a lot of these teams in the SEC will try and ramp up that resume, starting with non-conference opponents. Let's hear from Brooks Baptiste on some of those big matchups in week 1.
Well, it's that time of year. Excitement is truly building for the college football season, and kickoff is now just 6 weeks away, and week 1 is jam-packed with several big games. I'm Brooks Baptiste inside the Atlanta News First studio, breaking down what you can expect come late August. The first SEC team to strap it up next month is Missouri. The Tigers expect to get off to a good start by hosting FCS Central Arkansas in Columbia. And it's a weeknight game. Kickoff is set for 7:30 Eastern. And the next day is when it starts to get good. Check it out. August 29th, Friday Night Lights in Texas. Auburn plays a true road game in Waco against Baylor. And this will be our first chance to see how quarterback Jackson Arnold has settled in with his new team. Remember, Auburn fans are hungry for a winning season, so fans are going to be watching Coach Hugh Freeze closely in week 1. And Saturday, August 30th is the first full day of college football games, and a lot of eyes are going to be on Tennessee and its new quarterback. The Vols get the season started against Syracuse, but the game is not on Rocky Top. It's at Mercedes-Benz Stadium here in Atlanta. And let's take a look at the next game on the list. It could be one of the biggest of the entire season. Texas traveling to the Horseshoe to play the defending national champions. And Texas is looking for revenge after the Buckeyes knocked the Longhorns out of the college football playoff last season. Both teams are considered contenders heading into the season, and Columbus is going to be rocking it. And we're not even close to done with that first full Saturday. Georgia expecting a big win in week 1 against Marshall. The Dogs kick off between the hedges at 3:30. And next up, another big road test for a high-profile program, Alabama against Florida State in Tallahassee. And of course, Bama is looking to reestablish itself as title contenders in year 2 under Coach DeBoer. And who knows what to expect from Florida State? The Seminoles finishing 2-10 last season, but we're 13-1 in 2023. Both teams are looking for a fresh start, and that's what they're going to get at 3:30 on August 30th. LSU is going to travel from Death Valley in Baton Rouge to Death Valley in Clemson, South Carolina. The Tigers are going to play in a huge game, and it's only week 1, but it almost feels like a must-win for both teams, especially the team from Bayou. Now, LSU has lost 5 straight season openers. And earlier this week, Coach Brian Kelly made it clear that his team is determined to break this streak.
This is one of our tangible goals that we have put out in front, that we want to start the season 1-0. It's important to us.
LSU's starting quarterback is back and expected to have a major year. The Tigers are going to lean on him when that game begins at 7:30. And the final game of the night involving an SEC team is Ole Miss hosting Georgia State in Oxford. That'll be a later start at 7:45. And finally, you've got South Carolina and Virginia Tech that will meet on Sunday, August 31st. Another neutral site matchup in Atlanta. Gamecocks and the Hokies kick off inside the Benz at 3 p.m. in what will be the Battle of the Birds. And that's just a look at the Week 1 football schedule for SEC schools. All 16 teams are in action that weekend. Remember, the top 2 teams in the conference will play for the SEC title right here in Atlanta on December 6th. I'm Brooks Baptiste.
August 30th cannot get here soon enough. We still have a lot more coming from SEC Media Days. We are going to talk about the Florida Gators next. Coach Billy Napier is back and still on the hot seat. He takes the stage when we return to Atlanta. back and better than ever in Atlanta. This is your SEC Media Days Craze brought to you by Gray Media. We talked about contenders and pretenders very early in this show, but where do the Florida Gators lie? Billy Napier is back when many thought his time in the Swamp had come to an end. Florida got embarrassed by Miami to start the season last year. Add a few more losses to the list, and Napier's job security became a real question. But a couple quality wins late in the season led to a boost in momentum. And here we are. The key to this Florida team may be in the hands of quarterback DJ Lagway, and analysts say he could be the best quarterback in the conference, but the Gators will need more than one star player to survive its brutal schedule. Let's check in with our correspondents from Florida.
You want to play against the best, the very best.
Not that anyone is counting, but Gator football kicks off in 45 days. Until Ben Hill is filled with orange and blue again, from Tom Petty ringing through the Swamp and the Gators taking the field. The SEC, the gauntlet of college football, Florida gearing up to not backing down.
To be the best, you got to beat the best. And you have to be up for the challenge of trying to get Florida back to where it's been before. We got a chance to have a really, really good football team that can put the ball down and play with any team in the country.
The SEC has a number of high-quality quarterbacks lining up under center, headlined by QB DJ Lagway, the sophomore leading the charge with Napier's offense locked in on success.
Pressure is a privilege, and once you have pressure, that means people are counting on you to do big things. So it doesn't matter who really is out there, it's all about us. It's all about how we prepare and how we go out there and treat the week. Words can't even explain it, how it is to play in the Swamp, man. The fans bring it each and every Saturday. And, I'm just thankful to be a part of it, and be able to be in the Swamp, and they're rooting for us and chewing us and giving us that true advantage.
The ability to run the ball as efficiently as passing was monumental for the offense, notching 208 completions. That is top 3 in the conference. That just means more. Doing the same with an average of nearly 390 yards a game, almost 2,100 rushing, and nearly 3,000 through the air. Thanks in large part to QB protector Jake Slaughter.
It's one of those things, we had a huge mindset shift in the locker room. And, a lot of guys stepped up into a leadership role that maybe they weren't in before. And, guys, we called it a one-day contract type of mentality. Guys really shifted the way they thought and approached practice and weights in the training room. And, it was a tremendous change and a big mindset shift.
To capitalize on the 4-game win streak ending last season, both sides of the ball are equally important to keep the momentum and expectations alive. This year's team returns one of the nation's best defensive units, led by redshirt senior Caleb Banks, who led the Gators' defense in pressures and defensive stops with 42 tackles and 10 for loss with a trio of fumbles.
Honestly, I think it's a mindset thing. I think if we have the right mindset going into the season this year and, we have a great fall camp, we'll be able to, go out and be successful this year.
The Gators were picked to finish 4th in the SEC this season, with the Lagway era in full effect and entering Napier's 4th season at the helm. As a freshman, Lagway passed for nearly 2,000 yards and 12 touchdowns in relief of injured Mertz. With a returning leading rusher and a talented receiver through the transfer portal, a push for the CFP looks very possible to cap the season. The countdown to kickoff is on.
Florida has not appeared in an SEC title game since 2020. They have not won one since 2008, and Tim Tebow won MVP, and that team actually went on to go win the Natty. We are still going very strong here at SEC Media Days. Boomer Sooner is back for year 2 in the conference. We're going to hear from Oklahoma after the break.
Risky's world. Come on, let's
Welcome back to your SEC Media Days Craze, brought to you by Gray Media. I'm Bailey Burmaster. It's year 2 for Oklahoma in the SEC, but this is a program that has a lot of rich history and is very used to winning. Coach Brent Venables is entering his 4th season as head man in Norman. After signing a contract extension in 2024, last season's campaign didn't exactly meet expectations. Oklahoma finished 6-7, but only beat 2 SEC opponents. All other wins came out of conference. Coach Venables is known for building a culture focused on defense and toughness. He will have a new offensive coordinator this season to bring new life to a stagnant offense. Let's tap in with our correspondents from Oklahoma.
The Oklahoma Sooners are entering year 2 in the SEC. They had a rough welcome to the conference last season, going just 6-7, way below their standard after having double-digit win seasons 18 of the last 22 years. There'll be a new look Sooners squad after starting quarterback Jackson Arnold transferred to Auburn.
You know, last year was tough. Obviously, not ideal whatsoever, but I think perseverance was a big thing that I learned last year, and kind of fighting through the tough times. And we did play in some big games last year, and so now I fully understand what it's like playing a long SEC schedule against some good teams, and playing in those tough games where it's extremely close and you have to kind of grind it out.
Stepping into Arnold's role is John Mateer, a transfer quarterback from Washington State.
John's a great guy, competitive guy, confident guy. He makes a lot of throws that a lot of your average quarterbacks can't make, and he's going to let you know about it. So that's what I love about John. He's a great guy to be around.
He always knows what to say at the right time. And it's funny, he's quirky, he's swaggy, he's all that. I like him. I'm glad he was able to join our program.
Now entering year 4 under head coach Brent Venables, the Sooners are ready to get back to their winning ways.
We know what the standard is, what the people in the team in the past have set. So I know if we can put our head down, we can work, focus on the journey and not the destination, we will be right where we want to be.
This is a team I love to be in the building with every single day, and I believe they have what it takes to claw our way back to where I believe Oklahoma belongs. The expectations here and in the locker room are to win at the very highest level and to compete for a championship. That's always been the way it is here at the University of Oklahoma, and we embrace those standards and expectations.
Oklahoma's schedule won't be easy in 2025. They're playing Michigan at a conference, and then they're on the road at Knoxville, South Carolina, Tuscaloosa, and of course, the Red River rivalry against the College Football Playoff semifinalist Texas on October 11th. Reporting from Atlanta, Tyler Shaw.
No big game in week 1 for Oklahoma. However, in week 2, they host Michigan at Memorial Stadium, and it is sure to be a showdown. We still have more coming your way. Mississippi State fans are hoping for more cowbell this fall. After the break, the Bulldogs bring Stark Vegas to Atlanta to preview the season. watching your SEC Media Days Craze, brought to you by Gray Media. I'm Bailey Burmaster. One final team on the day, the Mississippi State Bulldogs. This Bulldogs team, they're not exactly known for being a powerhouse in the conference, but 2-10 certainly is not going to cut it. Head coach Jeff Lebby is back for year 2, and his starting quarterback returns from injury. But it feels like a complete rebuild in Starkville. The schedule is no cakewalk. State has to play Georgia, Texas, Tennessee, and of course their bitter rivals Ole Miss. If there was ever a time to be optimistic, it's now. Let's get the latest from our friends from Mississippi.
Day 3 of SEC Media Days in Atlanta. Mississippi State took the podium to preview their 2025 season. After a disappointing campaign in 2024, going 2-10 and 0-8 in SEC conference play, Jeff Lebby knew that change wasn't negotiable. It was necessary. And change has arrived in a big way. Since January 1st, the Bulldogs have completely overhauled their roster, adding 60 new players. Of the entire team, 80% are in their first or second year. It's a fresh start in Starkville, and Lebby says the program is in a much better place heading into year 2.
We needed that. And for us, again, from a roster standpoint, we had to get it flipped. We're nowhere close to where we need to be, but we're going to have the ability to go practice in fall camp the way we need to, very similar to how we practice in spring ball. Again, I think there's great momentum inside our walls. I mean, you look at what Zach and his team has been able to accomplish from a fundraising standpoint, shattering records after the year that we've had and all the things that have gone on. There's been this incredible amount of support with the new indoor being announced, the facility upgrades, being under the lights week 2 with our season opener, our home opener, I should say, will be exciting. So there's great things happening inside the program.
One of the most intriguing additions is in the wide receiver room. Senior Brennan Thompson, a transfer from Oklahoma, is expected to be a game changer on the outside. Despite the roster turnover, team chemistry isn't being viewed as a concern. According to Thompson and others, the group has already forged a strong bond.
You know, in my experience playing football, and I think anything you do in life as a team, I think the closer teams always find a way to push through some things differently than those that may not be as close. I feel like that's a huge foundation for us, is coming together as a brotherhood, really getting to know each other. Because as a leader, I feel like you can't lead everybody the same. Each athlete may have something that I got to come at them a little differently. And so just learning the guys, learning what everyone's about, and just ultimately just all going together towards one goal.
And while there's plenty of new faces, there's also some experience returning, including fifth-year quarterback Blake Shapen.
Yeah, I think for me, I've just been through a lot in my college experience, so being able to add that experience to other guys and be able to let other guys feed off of that. Going into hard games, it's going to be critical for me to be a leader to these guys and for them to rally around me.
Mississippi State will take the field with their new roster in Hattiesburg against Southern Miss on August 30th. In Atlanta, Carmen Corley.
Mississippi State's first conference game is not until September 27th, and they will look for their first SEC win since October 21st of 2023. We have one more final day of your SEC Media Days craze. That is when we will hear from Kentucky, Texas A&M, Arkansas, and Missouri. Don't miss a minute of the action. For Gray Media, I'm Bailey Burmaster. We'll see you then.